game. Back to Rogue Actions. Heinze, how was your weekend? I know you just had a demoralizing defeat in Grand Arena, so we'll try to help bring your energy up in Rogue Actions. You doing all right?
Man, mate, I'm great. I'm great, man. We celebrated 2 years on Twitch on the weekend on Friday night, man. Yeah. So we got a one banner win on Friday night, and
that's sweet.
And to top it all off, I now have to relic 9 my Darker as soon as possible. So
is that a punishment?
No. It was just more of a target we hit for the day, and we just blitzed it. So it was like, hey, looks like we're doing this. So thank you so much for everyone for joining us.
Relic 9 Daka could actually be pretty dirty.
Yeah, well, that's right. Mine's really high health anyway. So Relic 9's only going to make it more disgusting. So I'm pretty happy with that, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I've just got to get the mats for it. You know the drill. Always fun.
I know the drill.
You do.
All right, let's get into it. We got our mini moment today. Here's me. I am Star-Lord, and I'm looking at the crew, and here's my responsibilities, and Swugga's kind of peeking around the corner. Are you sure you don't want to? This is great.
That is so true.
This is from the Thor Love and Thunder trailer, if you guys missed it.
How good does it look, Cubs? How good does the trailer look? I'm hanging for that movie.
Like, I'm more excited for Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, personally.
Nice.
But I mean, yeah, the Thor Love and Thunder trailer looked great, and of course, you can't deny the moment when Leia's mom wields a reforged Mjolnir. I mean, that's just about as good as it gets.
Oh, Padme, that's fantastic! It is so good. I didn't see that coming. Spoiler alert! But watch the damn trailer. It's that good.
Absolutely.
You should have that already.
All right, so Heinze, you and I haven't had a chance to talk about this yet, but last week we had this announcement here. We are upping the requirement for the legendary events. It used to be all legendary events are 7-star, 5 characters required at 7 stars, or a faction required at 7 stars to unlock the character. And now we are seeing, instead, you need to have all of the characters at Relic 5. That's a pretty steep increase in requirements, Heinze, to go from 7 stars to Relic 5. I mean, it's one thing if it would even be a gear requirement, but to jump all the way up to Relic 5 is quite the jump. And so I've got thoughts on this, but before we share them, I just wanted to get your take. How do you feel about that one?
I'm not thrilled about it, but I kind of understand why. I mean, the Inquisitors are probably one of the most expensive teams that we really don't know whether it's going to be good or not yet. From what we've seen. And the investment is enormous in this faction. It is absolutely enormous. I'm not surprised. Unfortunately, these days, nothing surprises me anymore when it comes to requirements in general, Cubs. Unless I'm mistaken. We've seen what happens when it comes to Galactic Legend requirements. Unfortunately, we're now programmed to expect this. And I'm not thrilled about it. Absolutely not. With that being said, unless a character, unfortunately, these days, especially in the higher tier levels, is at Relic 5, it's just not much use. And that's the problem. I mean, it is forcing you to use it because, unfortunately, it's just not viable at Gear 12 anymore like things used to be. Or even Gear 13, unfortunately, either. Like, they're just not viable. Relic 5 is the new Gear 13. It really is. We've moved to that point. And unfortunately, that's the situation that we're at right now, because they want to push for you to farm those mats. They want to push for you to use the scavenger to get rid of all your gear, to make it have to buy it and or make it harder to farm stuff. They don't want things unlocked every 5 minutes when an event comes out anymore. They want you to work hard for it. And I think that's been prevalent.
Work hard?
Well, work hard, farm hard, credit card hard, whatever you want to call it. You know my point. The point is
nobody's working hard for these Inquisitors. They're paying hard for them.
Yeah, they don't want you to get it on release. That's probably my point. I mean, when it comes out, they want you to have something to work towards, not to unlock within 5 minutes and then.
But here's the thing, with the characters the way they are, they've all just been released. Only 2 of them are even farmable right now. If you want to have all of those characters just at 7 stars, you're looking at several $100s of investing. Five, at least $500, probably more like $700-800.
Yes, that's more. That's more the figure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just to get them to 7 stars. And so we really need to take it to Relic 5. Like, I mean, what does that ramp the investment up to? That probably doubles it.
It's just not something. I mean, unless unfortunately it's designed around the pointy end. Honestly, this faction is built around at this point in time the pointy end of the game. People that are spending, people that are really investing into their roster that have basically.
But it's already there. Like even just having it be a 7-star unlock, that's already at the tip of the spear. You know, like where are the average players that get a full faction without even knowing what they're going to do, by the way, but gets a full faction unlocked at 7 stars?
Yeah, that's right.
Only the tip of the spear does that. And so I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it's just
and that's the thing. If it gets to 7-star and you're investing in and certainly, you know, call it what it is. If you're paying to unlock this faction, and make no mistake, that's what you're doing, right? You don't get this free to play, right? You're paying for it if you want it. Whether it's 7-star unlock or Relic 5, they're not going to give a shit because they're going to farm it up anyway because it's used at the higher level. And that's the point. I mean, I've got my, I've got my Night Sister at, like Relic, I think Relic 7 right now, just about Relic 8. She's useless any less than that. She dies. And that's the problem until the rest of the faction comes in. But that's another thing we're going to talk about in the next topic, right? Because, the whole Inquisitor faction, to me, has a big question mark over it. So do many others.
Yeah, okay. And so let's talk about this. Now, we fall into this this trap many times in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, where we've got a character coming, we know the character's coming, and you got this tremendous investment to get to that character, but you still don't even know what the character does. Now, normally when we see this, it's been with a character like Starkiller, it's been with characters like Galactic Legends, and you just have confidence that they're going to be very worth it, especially with Galactic Legends. With the Grand Inquisitor, I mean, this is just a legendary character. They have told us that with his Omicrons, he'll rival GLs in territory wars only. And so I guess if you are a territory wars, focused player that's willing to invest several $1,000s to have your guild get an advantage in territory wars, then great. But if you're not, I have a serious question mark on if the Grand Inquisitor is even worth it at all. Because just consider the amount of time to get to these characters, right? And he's only going to be working in territory wars at his best, and then in other game modes, is he going to even perform where you need him to? Like, what is this really worth the investment, Heidi? I don't know how to make myself more clear.
No. Okay, so the simple answer to that is if you're super serious about territory war, like hardcore, full on eat, breathe, sleep territory war, then yes, it's worth it to an extent, because the point is that we know that it's going to take out a GL Jedi, right? We're assuming it's JMK. We don't necessarily know that yet. It might be JML. And let me tell you, at my level, I don't see many JMLs on defense, right? I just don't. It doesn't happen, right? You use it as a counter in attack somewhere else. So it needs to take out Kenobi, right? It needs to take out Kenobi lineups. The problem is, I think Lord Vader was designed for that originally, right? With Maul, with the whole Kenobi sort of synergy with that. So I'm concerned that the Inquisitors probably won't, and they're going to aim for JML instead. They're going to go after Luke, Galactic Luke, instead of Kenobi. That will be a big problem because for 2 reasons. Number one, not many people are going to set that on defense. Too good in attack, right? The way that you spin the turn meter around, keep the turn meter around, you can just obliterate teams. Yeah. You're not going to put it on defense. You're just not. Maybe in the lower case where, a guild doesn't have it at all, then you might chuck it on because GLs are just, far above, everyone else. But in the majority of cases, the counters are there for it already. There's just no need for it. And if it is, as someone's just said in chat, it's a big spit in the face if all it takes out is JML. It really is, because people just are not going to set it. It doesn't happen. At my level, I don't see it. No one sees that. You just don't. It's too valuable for attack. But the other problem is that it's a massive investment, if you already said. You're talking about, thousands and thousands of dollars just to take it to 7-star, right? Just to 7-star. For 4 days a month for attack phase, right?
Yeah.
4 days a month.
Yeah, so thousands of dollars for something you literally only get to use 4
days
times.
A month.
And if you're setting them on defense, you just set them and watch them.
It needs some sort of synergy, or someone needs to come up with something where they're useful in GAC. Because make no mistake, the crystals in GAC are far more important than Territory War right now. And I'm a Territory War hardcore guild guy. You know that, Cubs, right? That's how I roll.
Yeah.
But GAC is where it's at.
I guess this is just an example, Heinze, of the exclusivity of this game, because I feel like the Inquisitors, the whole shtick with the Inquisitors and the Grand Inquisitor and now these requirements is just more and more of this only appeals to like 0.1% of the player base, right?
Correct.
Like I want to ask everyone, we're recording this live right now. Everybody who's watching right now, I want you to answer, who is going for for the Grand Inquisitor on day one? Who's going to get him? Are you going to get him, Heinze?
Yes, I will. Yeah. I will. But that's my decision. I mean, This is the thing. I've never told anyone to play the game any different. I let everyone do their thing and I do my thing. And that's my choice. At the moment, I have them all unlocked and they're all at Relic 5 or above. That's my decision. I'm not swinging my, wiener here to say, hey, look how big and awesome I am.
Are you swinging your wiener?
Well, maybe. I mean, there's no pants on at the moment. You can't see that under the desk. So, gravity's doing its thing. But that's a whole different story, right? But but the point is that, that's my decision. I don't tell anyone to do anything in this game, and no one should. It's your decision to do it. And you find a guild, if they're forcing you to do something you want to do, then find one that, is more comfortable for what you want to do. But I'm in a high-end guild. I play at the pointy end. That's my decision to do that. And I make things available to my guild and myself that I think will give me a spot.
And we judge you.
You can judge me all you like. But honestly, Cubs, right now, if you look at my roster, and I can show you, I can bring my roster up. I've got nothing else to farm right now. That's how lucky I am. Right.
So that is the tip of the spear dilemma you get to. So even if there's not that much appeal for the character in Territory Wars, maybe you don't care about Territory Wars, because there's nothing else to go for, you're going to go for it.
Well, that's right. I mean, right now on my favorites list, right? This is what I've got my favorites list right now. I have Phoenix because I never got around to it back in the day. They're gear 12, right? I'm bringing them up to relics for the pilots, and that's it. I'm in a fortunate position, and there's many more like us at the top end. And I'm just talking top end here. I'm not trying to insult anyone that's free to play or mid game or anyone. Make no mistake. If you think that, I apologize, because that's not my intention here. Right. All I'm trying to say is that at my level, the way that I play, I'm in almost a 500 million GP guild, right? They're about to tick over 500 mil, right? I've got nothing left to farm.
Right.
So I'm farming them because there's nothing else for me to farm. And that's my choice, straight up.
So we did run an impromptu poll in the chat, and 93% of the chat is not going to unlock Grand Inquisitor on day one. Only that's 93% and 7%. Oh, sorry, 93%. Let's see here. We're getting a lot more votes in here now. 34 people are not going to get it. That's up to 35 up to 95%, and only 2 people so far have said they're going to get it. And so that's
I'm surprised it's that low. I thought it'd be even lower than that, honestly. So straight up.
Yeah. We're in now that I mention it, a lot more people are chiming in. We've got 50 people getting it, 51 people not getting it, and 4 people.
93% of the vote to 7%. So, I mean, that gives you an idea. But
so, hey, if that's representative of the community, I mean, that's a lot higher percentage than I estimated earlier.
And that's a lot of investment into CG resources that people aren't going to invest and unlock. Don't forget that. We know how much work these factions are to make. Yeah. They don't make them overnight, and they're not something they just throw together and slap it out there. They spend months putting this stuff together, graphics alone for the characters. There's a lot of work in making these, and to have a faction that people aren't even going to engage and unlock, it's pretty disappointing, I'm sure, from their end.
I doubt it, because they don't need that many people to do it, though.
Maybe.
I mean, you consider how expensive it is. So right now we're at 6% of the chat that are getting it. So let's say that let's half that. Let's say 3% of the player base goes for this.
Yeah.
Right? We got several 100,000 people playing this game, 3% of that. How many thousands of people are unlocking this character day one, and how many thousands of dollars it is for each of them? It just comes back to, I mean, Carrie's comment from way back in the day, that tip of the spear is where they pour their focus. And so anyway, it's kind of a circular conversation. We've had this conversation before.
I just can't see me using it. I mean, that's the thing. Like I mean, unless there's something crazy on defense in Territory War where I can take it out for 20 banners, then I'm going to use it. But honestly, I can't for the life of me sit here right now and think of all the battles that I've done over the last couple of months in territory war and think, geez, I could have used it against that. Like there's none that come to my mind right now. There just isn't.
But you're still getting it.
Yeah, because I got nothing else to farm.
So why spend the money?
Well, again, it's my choice. And honestly, you know what I'm most excited about unlocking these guys is all the Omicrons I've been getting from the Marquis along the way.
Oh,
that to me has been a bigger advantage. Make no mistake.
Interesting. I mean, I get where you're coming from on like it's your choice. Like I'm not judging your choice. I'm just trying to understand the logic because it sounds to me like you're not even excited about it, but you're going to be spending how many thousands of dollars?
I'll be excited if it's useful in GAC soon. When Grand Inquisitor comes out and we know that it's focused on territory war, absolutely. But if I find viability in GAC, I'm going to be pretty happy I unlock those guys. Make no mistake. And I am actually already still using Ninth Sister and also Seventh Sister in my Lord Vader team in GAC, and that's getting holds.
What if you just don't spend those thousands of dollars on that? And what if instead you... Oh, we got a notification popping in. Sorry about that, guys. What if instead you use that 1,000 or several $1,000s to come out to America, come say hi?
Well, I'm planning on hopefully doing that at some point next year anyway. That's already my plan, given the opportunity. So, that's a whole different story. But there's only one problem. I'd have to bring Mrs. H and the family with me. And man, they're more expensive than this game, bro.
All right, that's a great place to end it today. Good discussion, Hydesy. We're going to keep talking about everything over on Hydesy's channel. So be sure to join us over on his end of the video. And as always, my brothers, don't forget.